Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something about strength. It doesn't come from lifting weights. It comes from lifting yourself. When life throws punches, a strong woman doesn't fall. She stands taller, fiercer, and wiser. Life is no easy road, but the strong woman, she doesn't just walk it, she conquers it. When the storm hits, she doesn't ask, "Why me?" She says, "Try me." Her struggles are not setbacks, they are setups for comebacks. A strong woman knows the power of no. She knows that not every invitation deserves her presence, and not every battle deserves her fight. Her boundaries are the walls that protect her peace, and she guards them like a queen protects her throne. You cannot tell her who she is because she already knows. Society may try to label her, criticize her, or even tear her down, but her self-worth is built on a foundation no one can shake. She doesn't seek applause. She moves to the rhythm of her own purpose. Yes, she's kind. Yes, she's compassionate. But don't mistake her kindness for weakness. She'll give you her hand if you're falling, but if you try to pull her down, she'll let go without hesitation. A strong woman isn't just surviving, she's thriving. She has dreams, goals, and a fire in her soul that keeps her moving. Even when others doubt her, even when the road gets tough, she keeps going because she knows where she's headed. Here's the real power. A strong woman doesn't need the crowd to cheer her on. She's comfortable in her own company. Alone or surrounded, she's at peace because she's learned to love herself deeply. She doesn't conform to fit into boxes or play small to make others comfortable. She walks into every room like she belongs there because she does. Her authenticity is her superpower, and she doesn't dim her light for anyone. So, to every woman who's fought battles no one knows about, who stood tall when life tried to knock her down, remember this: you are the definition of strength. And the world isn't just lucky to have you in it. It's better because you're here. Keep shining, keep standing, and keep being unapologetically strong. A strong woman is not defined by the ease of her journey, but by the weight of the storms she has endured. Life, with all its unpredictable trials, has tried to break her, but instead, it has shaped her into a force of nature. She doesn't crumble under pressure, she transforms it into power. Each setback, each obstacle, and every heartache becomes a stepping stone for her ascent. Her strength is not in the absence of pain, but in her ability to rise despite it. She wears her scars proudly, not as reminders of defeat, but as symbols of survival. Every scar tells a story of a challenge faced and overcome, a moment when the world thought she would break, yet she stood tall. Those scars are not blemishes, they are badges of honor, earned through perseverance and grit. They are the marks of a life lived with courage, a testament to her refusal to give up. When the odds were stacked against her, she knows that the beauty of her soul lies not in perfection, but in her resilience. When adversity strikes, she doesn't ask for it to stop. She asks for the strength to endure it. Her mind becomes her sanctuary, a fortress fortified by the lessons learned from her struggles. She understands that pain is temporary, but the growth it brings is permanent. Challenges do not intimidate her because she has seen worse and emerged stronger. She knows that life's trials are not a punishment but a test, a way to refine her character and sharpen her resolve. What makes her truly remarkable is her ability to face the darkness without losing sight of the light. She doesn't let fear paralyze her. Instead, she uses it as fuel to move forward. When the world seems to close in around her, she finds a way to breathe, to push forward, and to break free. She doesn't run from her problems, she confronts them head-on, knowing that true strength is not in avoidance, but in courage. Her bravery is quiet yet unyielding, a force that cannot be shaken by circumstances. Even in her hardest moments, she finds the will to keep going. She knows that the strength to rise is not always loud or dramatic. Sometimes, it's found in the quiet determination to put one foot in front of the other, even when the weight feels unbearable. She doesn't measure her progress by the speed of her recovery, but by the depth of her perseverance. Her strength is steady, like the roots of a tree that hold firm, even in the fiercest storm. And when she rises not just for herself, but for others. Her resilience becomes a beacon of hope for those around her, a living example of what it means to overcome. She inspires others to believe that they too can endure and thrive, no matter how tough life gets. Her strength is not just her own, it becomes a ripple, touching the lives of everyone who witnesses it. A strong woman doesn't simply survive adversity, she transforms through it. She emerges with a deeper understanding of her own power, a greater appreciation for life, and a heart that is both fierce and compassionate. She is proof that resilience is not just about bouncing back, it's about rising higher than before. And through it all, she remains unshaken, unbroken, and undeniably strong. A strong woman understands the value of her time, energy, and emotional well-being. She doesn't seek to please everyone, nor does she feel obligated to say yes to every request or expectation. Instead, she has mastered the art of setting boundaries, recognizing that her peace is her sanctuary and protecting it is her responsibility. Saying no is not an act of defiance for her, it's an act of self-respect. She does so unapologetically because she knows that every yes to others without thought is a potential no to herself. She understands that boundaries are not walls to keep people out, but guidelines that teach others how to treat her. They are rooted in her understanding of her worth and her refusal to allow anyone or anything to disrupt her harmony. These boundaries are not negotiable. They are a reflection of her values, priorities, and the deep respect she has for herself. When she draws the line, she does it with clarity and conviction, knowing it's an act of self-preservation rather than selfishness. A strong woman has learned that not everyone will understand or respect her boundaries, and she's okay with that. She doesn't require external validation to reinforce her decisions. She has made peace with the discomfort of others because she knows that prioritizing her own mental and emotional health is not something to feel guilty about. She doesn't allow guilt or manipulation to sway her resolve. Instead, she stands firm, knowing that she can't pour from an empty cup and that her well-being must come first if she is to show up fully in any aspect of her life. She knows the power of her no. It's a word she wields with intention, not out of malice, but out of wisdom. It's a tool that protects her from overextending herself, from becoming drained or resentful. Her no is not a rejection of others. It's an affirmation of herself. It says, I respect you, but I also respect me. She understands that those who truly care for her will respect her boundaries, while those who don't were never meant to be a part of her life in the first place. Her peace is non-negotiable because she knows what happens when she compromises it. She's been there before, burnt out, overwhelmed, and emotionally depleted because she allowed others to overstep. But those experiences taught her a valuable lesson. Peace is priceless. It's the foundation of her strength, her clarity, and her ability to navigate life with purpose. Without it, she cannot thrive. And so she guards it fiercely, not out of fear, but out of love for herself. In relationships, she sets the tone early, making it clear what she will and will not tolerate. She communicates her boundaries with grace, but without hesitation. She understands that love and respect are not just about giving, they're also about receiving in a way that aligns with her values. She doesn't shy away from difficult conversations, knowing they are necessary for maintaining healthy connections. Even in the face of backlash or misunderstanding, she doesn't waver. She has learned that pleasing everyone is a futile pursuit, and the only person she needs to be at peace with is herself. She moves through life with a quiet confidence, knowing that her boundaries are her armor. They are not there to isolate her, but to ensure that her life is filled with meaningful connections, purposeful actions, and a deep sense of fulfillment. A strong woman's boundaries are a testament to her self-awareness and her commitment to living authentically. They allow her to navigate life on her terms, with her peace intact and her heart unburdened. They are her way of saying, "I am worthy, and my well-being matters." And in that, she finds her power, her freedom, and her unshakable strength. A strong woman does not measure her worth by the opinions or validations of others. She has cultivated a deep sense of self-awareness, and this inner clarity serves as the foundation of her confidence. Her value is not dictated by how others perceive her, nor is it dependent on fleeting affirmations from the outside world. She knows her worth because she has taken the time to understand who she is, what she stands for, and what she brings to the table. This sense of self-worth is unshakable, rooted not in ego, but in authenticity. She doesn't chase after approval because she understands its fleeting nature. External validation can be a tempting trap, but she knows that relying on it leads to an endless cycle of trying to please others at the cost of her own happiness. She refuses to live her life based on the expectations or judgments of society. Instead, she creates her own standards and measures her success by her own progress, values, and principles. Her self-worth is not a negotiation. It is a non-negotiable fact of her existence. This confidence is not loud or boastful. It is quiet yet undeniable. It's the way she carries herself, the way she speaks, and the way she chooses to show up in the world. It comes from knowing her strengths, embracing her flaws, and owning every part of her journey. She understands that perfection is an illusion and that true beauty lies in authenticity. By accepting herself as she is, she frees herself from the burden of trying to be someone she's not. Her self-worth empowers her to make choices that align with her values, even when those choices are unpopular. She has the courage to say no to situations, relationships, or opportunities that don't serve her highest good. She doesn't settle for less than she deserves because she knows her value and refuses to compromise it for temporary comfort or acceptance. This unwavering belief in herself allows her to navigate life with purpose and conviction. While she appreciates genuine compliments and encouragement, she doesn't depend on them to feel whole. Her confidence is not a product of external praise. It's a reflection of her inner growth. She has taken the time to cultivate a relationship with herself, to understand her dreams, fears, and desires. This self-awareness gives her a sense of stability that no external validation could ever provide. She knows who she is, and that knowledge is her greatest source of power. Her sense of self-worth also allows her to uplift others without feeling threatened. She celebrates the successes of others because she understands that their victories do not diminish her own. She doesn't engage in comparisons or compete for attention because she is secure in her own path. Her confidence radiates outward, inspiring those around her to embrace their own worth and potential. When faced with criticism or negativity, she doesn't let it define her. She discerns between constructive feedback and baseless judgment, using the former to grow and dismissing the latter with grace. She knows that not everyone will understand or appreciate her, and she's at peace with that. Her worth is not up for debate, and she doesn't feel the need to prove herself to anyone. In her presence, there is a sense of strength and peace that comes from knowing she is enough just as she is. She doesn't seek to conform or to fit into molds created by society. Instead, she boldly embraces her individuality, understanding that her uniqueness is her superpower. Her confidence is a quiet but profound declaration of self-love, a reminder that true worth comes from within. A strong woman chooses self-worth over validation every time because she understands that her value is inherent, not conditional. She doesn't wait for the world to acknowledge her, she acknowledges herself. And in doing so, she becomes a beacon of empowerment, a living testament to the transformative power of self-awareness and self-love. You deserve it. A strong woman possesses the rare ability to balance empathy with boundaries, kindness with self-respect. Her heart feels deeply for others, and her compassion is genuine, but she has learned that empathy does not mean allowing herself to be used or disrespected. She understands that her ability to care for others is a strength, not a weakness, and she wields it with discernment. While her heart may open to understand the pain and struggles of those around her, she knows when to draw the line and let go for the sake of her own well-being. Her empathy is rooted in her understanding of the human experience. She knows what it means to struggle, to feel pain, and to long for kindness. This understanding allows her to connect with others on a profound level. She listens without judgment, offers support without hesitation, and stands by those who need her. However, her compassion is not blind. She recognizes that helping someone does not mean sacrificing her peace or tolerating behavior that undermines her self-respect. A strong woman's empathy is not a license for others to take advantage of her. She has the wisdom to recognize when someone is crossing a boundary or exploiting her kindness. She gives, but she doesn't overextend herself to the point of exhaustion or resentment. She knows that true compassion includes caring for herself, and she refuses to pour from an empty cup. By protecting her energy, she ensures that her kindness remains a strength rather than a source of her own suffering. She understands that letting go is sometimes the most compassionate choice for both herself and the other person. When faced with toxic relationships or unhealthy dynamics, she doesn't cling out of guilt or obligation. Instead, she chooses to walk away with grace, knowing that real love and respect cannot coexist with disrespect. She does so without bitterness, carrying no grudge, but instead with the understanding that letting go is a necessary step for her growth and peace. Her compassion is also coupled with accountability. She doesn't enable destructive behavior or excuse actions that cause harm. She believes in holding people accountable while still offering them grace. She knows that empathy isn't about ignoring the truth, but about approaching it with kindness. She can deliver honesty with care, knowing that sometimes the most compassionate thing she can do is to tell someone what they need to hear, not what they want to hear. A strong woman doesn't see her empathy as a weakness because she has turned it into one of her greatest strengths. She uses it to create meaningful connections, to uplift others, and to bring light into the lives of those around her. But she also uses it to understand herself better. She knows when she needs to rest, when she needs to say no, and when she needs to put herself first. Her compassion starts with herself, and from that foundation, it extends outward to the world. She is not afraid to feel deeply, to cry, or to show vulnerability, but she doesn't let her emotions control her. Her strength lies in her ability to process her feelings without being consumed by them. She knows that feeling deeply is a gift, not a burden, and she treats it as such. Yet she is not ruled by her emotions. She makes decisions with both her heart and her mind, ensuring that her empathy is balanced with wisdom and self-care. To some, her combination of kindness and firmness might seem paradoxical, but to her, it is simply who she is. She doesn't compromise her values or her dignity to please others, and she doesn't mistake her ability to care for others as a reason to endure mistreatment. She leads with her heart, but remains guided by her principles. In her, there is a beautiful balance of strength and compassion. She feels deeply but refuses to let her feelings make her vulnerable to harm. Her empathy is her superpower, but it is one she wields with care and intention. Through her actions, she shows that kindness and self-respect can coexist, and that a heart that feels deeply can also be a heart that knows its worth. A strong woman moves through life with a vision that is both clear and unshakable. She knows who she is and what she wants, and she has the courage to pursue her purpose with unwavering determination. Her vision is not merely a distant dream, it is a calling, a deep sense of purpose that drives her forward no matter what challenges or setbacks come her way. She doesn't wait for the perfect conditions or rely on others to validate her ambitions. Instead, she takes charge of her journey, knowing that her destiny lies in her own hands. Her vision is born from clarity. She has taken the time to understand her goals, her values, and what truly matters to her. This clarity allows her to focus her energy on what is meaningful rather than being distracted by the noise of the world. She doesn't pursue goals for the sake of impressing others or meeting societal expectations. Her drive is deeply personal, fueled by her own passions and beliefs. This intrinsic motivation makes her unstoppable because her purpose is rooted in authenticity. Challenges do not deter her, they strengthen her resolve. She understands that the path to greatness is rarely smooth, but she embraces the obstacles as opportunities to grow. When faced with setbacks, she doesn't see them as reasons to give up, but as lessons to learn from. She adapts, recalibrates, and keeps moving forward with even greater determination. Her courage to keep going, even when the odds seem stacked against her, sets her apart. She knows that success is not about avoiding failure, but about persevering in spite of it. Her drive is matched by her discipline. She is not content with simply dreaming. She puts in the work to turn her vision into reality. She is committed to her goals and takes consistent action, even on the days when motivation feels out of reach. She understands that progress is built through small, deliberate steps, and she is willing to do what it takes to keep moving forward. Her discipline is not rigid or harsh. It is guided by her belief in herself and her purpose. She doesn't shy away from risks or fear stepping out of her comfort zone. She knows that growth often requires taking bold leaps of faith. While others may hesitate or doubt themselves, she takes the initiative, trusting in her ability to navigate whatever comes her way. Her courage is not the absence of fear, but the determination to move forward despite it. She is willing to face uncertainty because she knows that her vision is worth the risk. A strong woman also has the wisdom to seek support and inspiration when needed. She surrounds herself with people who uplift her, who share her values, and who challenge her to be better. She is not afraid to ask for guidance or to collaborate with others who can help her achieve her goals. At the same time, she knows how to stand alone when necessary, relying on her inner strength to keep her moving forward. Her confidence comes from knowing that she is capable of overcoming any challenge, whether she has support or not. Her vision is not just about personal success, it often extends to making a positive impact on the world around her. She is driven by a desire to leave a legacy, to create change, and to inspire others through her actions. Her purpose is bigger than herself, and this gives her an even greater sense of drive. She doesn't just want to achieve her goals, she wants her journey to serve as proof that others can achieve theirs too. In the face of doubt, criticism, or adversity, she stands firm. She knows that her vision may not be understood by everyone, and that's okay. Her confidence doesn't rely on the approval of others. It comes from her unwavering belief in her purpose. She trusts her instincts, listens to her inner voice, and keeps her eyes on the bigger picture. Her vision and drive are the forces that propel her forward, making her a force to be reckoned with. She is not just a dreamer, but a doer, someone who turns ideas into action and challenges into triumphs. Through her determination, she proves that a clear purpose, coupled with courage and resilience, can overcome any obstacle and transform even the boldest dreams into reality. In 2018, her determination led to action. When her family moved to the UK, her life did become a different one, and people joined tribes. Her toughness and stubbornness can overcome any obstacle and transform even the boldest dreams into reality. A strong woman radiates an unshakable inner peace that sets her apart in a world often dominated by external noise and endless distractions. She has learned that her worth is not determined by the opinions, approval, or validation of others. Instead, her sense of self is deeply rooted in an intimate understanding of who she is. This inner peace is her foundation, a steady anchor that keeps her grounded whether she is standing alone or surrounded by a crowd. She has discovered that true wholeness comes from within. Her happiness is not contingent on the approval of others, nor does it depend on circumstances aligning perfectly. She knows that external validation is fleeting and unreliable, often leaving people empty when it fades. Rather than chasing after the opinions of others, she has turned inward, nurturing a relationship with herself that is built on self-respect, self-love, and self-awareness. She is her own sanctuary, a place of calm and strength that no one can take from her. Her peace comes from accepting herself fully, flaws and all. She doesn't strive for perfection or waste time comparing herself to others. Instead, she embraces her uniqueness and understands that her imperfections are part of what makes her human. This self-acceptance allows her to move through life with confidence and ease, unburdened by the need to prove herself. She is content with who she is, and this contentment gives her a quiet strength that is unshakable. Even in the midst of chaos or criticism, she remains calm and composed. She knows that other people's opinions are reflections of their own perspectives, not definitions of her value. When faced with negativity, she doesn't react impulsively or let it disturb her peace. Instead, she responds with grace, choosing to protect her energy and maintain her sense of balance. She has mastered the art of not taking things personally, understanding that her peace is far too valuable to be disrupted by the fleeting judgments of others. Her ability to find peace within herself extends to her solitude. She is not afraid to be alone because she doesn't equate solitude with loneliness. To her, alone time is an opportunity to recharge, reflect, and reconnect with herself. She enjoys her own company and sees it as a chance to nurture her inner world. Whether she is surrounded by people or spending time in silence, she feels at home with herself. Her peace is not dependent on external circumstances, but flows from the wellspring of her inner being. This self-sufficiency does not mean she isolates herself or rejects connection. On the contrary, she values meaningful relationships and understands the importance of community. However, she does not cling to others out of insecurity or fear of being alone. She approaches relationships from a place of wholeness, bringing her authentic self to the table without seeking to fill a void. Her inner peace allows her to give freely and love deeply without losing herself in the process. She has also cultivated the ability to let go of what does not serve her, whether it's toxic relationships, old grudges, or unrealistic expectations. She knows that holding on to these things only disturbs her peace. She chooses to release them, not out of weakness, but out of strength. Letting go is her way of prioritizing her well-being and staying true to herself. She understands that peace is not just the absence of conflict, but the presence of harmony within her soul. Her inner peace is her greatest armor in a world that often seeks to shake it. She remains steady in the face of life's storms, trusting herself to navigate through them with resilience and grace. This unshakable calm is not something she was born with. It is a skill she has cultivated through self-reflection, mindfulness, and a commitment to her own growth. She has learned to quiet the noise around her and listen to the voice within, trusting it to guide her. In her presence, others feel a sense of calm and stability, drawn to the serenity that she embodies. But her peace is not for others to dictate or disrupt. It is hers to protect and cherish. She carries it with her, a quiet reminder of her strength and self-worth. No matter where she goes or what she faces, she knows that her inner peace is her true home, a place she can always return to. And it is this peace that makes her truly unshakable. In conclusion, a strong woman is a powerful force, defined not only by her resilience and inner strength, but by the unwavering sense of peace she carries within. She knows who she is, and isn't afraid to show up fully, whether she's alone or in a crowd. Her vision and drive propel her forward with purpose, and her ability to empathize with others is tempered by her strong boundaries and deep sense of self-respect. Above all, she is unshakable in her belief in herself and her worth. She is her own source of validation, finding peace in knowing that her value does not depend on the opinions of others. Thank you for taking the time to reflect on the qualities that make a woman truly strong. May we all continue to embrace these principles, growing in our own strength, compassion, and resilience. Thank you for listening.